Here's what this is all about, gentlemen. We're here to redefine what it is to be the man. Now, for those who are new to the show, maybe haven't seen this experience before, here's what I will tell you. Years ago, back in 2007, as my entire financial world imploded, my marriage and my life was exposed for what it was. I was a one-dimensional douchebag who had no fucking clue what it was to be the man. Yet this was the phrase that my wife used to me over and over and over again. Be the man. Only she put an explicit in there, which was be the fucking man. Be the man. You're an asshole. Be the man. What the fuck's wrong with you? Be the man. Grow a pair and be the man. There were a lot of versions, as you can tell. The problem was I didn't know what be the man meant. So I started down the path of trying to discover that. And that birthed the program called Wake Up Warrior, and ultimately the game and the belief system we call living the warrior's way to having it all. This be the man idea, though, forced us into history to study this idea of sedation. I was convinced that myself and you as men, we were born into a game and we were fucked before we got here. That something before we ever left the vaginal canal had been put in play to cause you and I to play a certain way. I didn't know what that was, and I didn't know why it existed. And so we started to study over and over and over again. And you can get more detail on that. An entire episode number 4 here with Wake Up Warrior TV, the systematic sedation of men, that I dive deep into this conversation of how we actually fucking ended up here as a group of men, lost, confused, and alone. But see, at the end of that cycle, what it left guys like you and me with was the following. It left us with these 4 truths. Truth number 1 was the marketplace and the world just told us, go get the money. That's your job, honey. Go get the money. Don't be funny. Go get the money. Get me some honey. And we're like, okay, I'm going to go get the money. I'm going to work. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to work 3 fucking jobs. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to do whatever I have to. I'm going to go get the money. Because why? Because that's what everybody tells us we're supposed to do. Now, I'm not disagreeing with that. Foundational, I get it. Your job is to provide for your family, for your wife, etc. But here were the other problems. We were also taught to ignore your feelings. That your feelings don't actually matter. That nobody actually gives a fuck about what you feel. Where was the last time as a man you were given permission to take a stand to actually be who you were across the board? Not just this guy over here, this overbearing asshole, and on the flip side, not this sniveling new age pussy. I'm talking about a guy who stands in between these two places and gives himself permission to what? To feel, and to feel publicly. To be okay with how he feels, to be upset, to be angry, to be excited, to be passionate, to be fucking furious, and on the flip side, to be a man who's willing to take a stand, put on what we call your dark warrior, and go fucking steamroll life. Make some shit happen. See, these 2 variances and the dimensional feelings that exist in between, well, we just weren't trained on how to be that kind of king. Next, we don't need you. With the rise of feminism and the rise of the feminist movements, we begin to see a rise not only in the empowerment of women, which I have no problem with. I have 2 daughters and a beautiful wife. I also have a son. And I encourage, speaking of which, we got my wife giving me a little phone call right now. I appreciate her wanting to give my, she must have heard me talking about her. I pushed the wrong button. She must have heard me talking about her. And instead of me hanging her up, I just picked her up and she was now listening. That's the power of my relationship with my wife now. I just say her name on the TV show and she calls. So inside of this game, though, the problem that we ran into is that we sat in a situation where we were told, ignore your feelings, but also we were told that we don't need you. It's a crazy truth. It's a crazy place to be at. Literally, you and I have been taught, trained, and educated by the marketplace that we actually are not needed. This is a message. Empower the women, fuck the men. Now, don't get me wrong, man. I'm all about empowering women. There's likely no man on the planet right now who is more committed to this conversation of empowerment of women. But empowerment of women with the devaluation of man is not my fucking plan. And our goal here is to help men see that you do matter in society, and that although a woman may be able to go artificially inseminate herself with another man's sperm, get herself pregnant, marry another woman, and leave you in the dust, even though all that may be possible, in a modern game, we also stand by some old school principles, and that is this. The kingdom lives and dies by the rise and the life of the king. If the king chooses to fucking live, the kingdom lives. There were some who will not like this stand that I'm taking. Truthfully, don't give a fuck. What I can tell you is that a man and a woman standing next to each other, not the same, but equal, the game changes. 4th piece was that you're all alone. And here at Wake Up Warrior, that became our biggest commitment and the reason why we built this brotherhood and the reason why we ultimately said the following. We said, Well, my PowerPoint's decided to do its thing again. Thank you to my cell phone that has come over here. So we're going to fix that real quick. We said the following. We said, fuck you. Fuck you to your traditions. Fuck you to your patterns. Fuck you to the system that society has told us we should live in. And we're going to redefine what it ultimately means to be the man. And we started by creating a network and a global brotherhood in 17 countries that you can access by going to warriorbook.com, investing in that book, as well as the ticket to 2 months of training with us inside of this brotherhood to find out for the very first time in your life that you are simply not alone.